Hey everyone, Brandon from Top10Gamer.com again here. I just wanted to talk to you guys today a little bit about the Steam boxes that are appearing at CES Las Vegas in 2014, what we've seen, and kind of what I think is going right about the Steam OS and where they're completely missing the mark. Okay, so just imagine you lived in a world where you bought a game and throughout your entire life you had access to that game wherever you went. If you went to a friend's house and you were on his PC, you could access it. No matter where you went, you'd have access to the game. That's what Steam's OS and any game that you buy on the PC from now on should represent. Now, compare that with the PS4 and the Xbox One. The PS4 and Xbox One are not backwards compatible with the PS3 and the Xbox 360. Now, the PS Now will, if you're willing to spend a little bit of money, you can have some compatibility with your PS3 games. But hey, that is not ideal at all. So obviously, Steam is a big deal in terms of allowing us gamers to purchase a game and continue using it whenever we want to. Okay, so I just want to bring up a chart real quick here for you guys so you can take a look at the difference between the Xbox One, PS4, other game consoles, and the Steam OS. Now keep in mind that Steam OS doesn't have every game that's available out there. You know, for example, Origin has games that Steam is not even allowed to sell on their application. So, but as far as pure games go, Steam has over 3,000 titles, many of which are exclusive just to the PC. Let's compare that with the Xbox One right now, which has 77 total titles, the PS4 180 total titles. Maybe not a fair comparison because they've only been out a few short months and their lifespan is going to be more like 5 or 6 years. Maybe a more fair comparison is to the PS3 and the Xbox 360. The PS3 had 795 games and the Xbox 360 had 972 games. Out of all of these games for these four consoles, 367 or 18% of them were exclusive. Now, one thing that the Steam OS can do is if a bigger percentage of the gaming population is on PC gaming, it means, in my opinion, fewer exclusive titles. So that's a win-win across the board if we as gamers don't have to go in search of a certain platform in order to play our favorite game. Now I want to take a look at pricing issues for the Steam box, because I think that what the Steam box manufacturers have to be really careful of is the target market that they're trying to hit. Look at the PS4. It costs $40, an additional controller costs $60. It's $50 for a year membership. And overall, it's pretty cheap. You know that that console is going to work with games for the next 5 years, and it's going to be optimized. In addition, you might have to buy a headset. Those can be pretty pricey. Or if you want to include a camera option, I think those are about $60. Now, Xbox One is going to start you off at $500. Another controller is going to be $60. And then you're going to pay about $55 to $60 a year for Xbox Live. Compare that with the Steam box. Obviously, you get free online gameplay. But the thing that we have to all consider is that the type of gamer that Valve should be going after, or the Steam box manufacturers should be going after, it isn't guys like me that like to play in front of a monitor, use a keyboard and a mouse necessarily. It's those guys that are playing on their consoles. Now those guys are used to paying $500 for their system. So in order to make a competitive Steam box, it needs to be in that price range. And at CES Las Vegas 2014, we are seeing these Steam boxes from $500 clear up to $6,000. Now, I'm not sure what high-end gamer would consider having a Steam box that has the Linux OS on it, but there's a lot of things to think about. I think most of these higher-end gamers, first of all, they're a little bit older. They don't mind using their PC, but also the Linux-based OS really isn't optimized yet. Now, if you're paying $100, let's say you've got a $2,000 gaming PC, paying another $100 is only 5% of that total budget. But as we've seen online, the Linux-based OS, this Steam OS isn't optimized at all, so you lose tons of FPS. Why in the world would you go spend $2,000 to have an OS that performs so much worse than Windows 8 when it comes to playing your favorite games? Okay, so now briefly, I just want to talk about what the Steam OS, what needs to happen with the Steam OS in order for it to succeed, and why gamers everywhere should hope that it does. Okay, the first thing that needs to happen is optimization. Games will need to play as smoothly through the Steam OS as they do on Windows 8 and consoles. This will take help from developers who want to cater to Steam OS gamers, as well as Valve pushing them to get it done. Without optimization, the Steam OS will stay grounded. You heard me. It won't even get off the ground if we can't see better FPS results. It needs to target the right market. $2,000 and up gamers are not the right market. The right market is those who are playing console right now, or those who want to build an inexpensive PC gaming machine right now. Better controllers. So far, the independent controller I've seen does not look desirable to me. But one good thing about this platform being independent is so many people can work on controllers. I think they'll get there. Simpler installation for builders. It doesn't want to. They don't want to put something out there that only a hacker could install. They need to make a simple way for those who want to build their own, for non-computer savvy people to build their own computer and install this OS. They need support for AAA titles that can't be purchased through Steam. If I don't have support on for a particular game that I want, let's say Titanfall's coming up. Okay, well you can only purchase Titanfall on Origin. You can't purchase it through Steam. How am I going to be able to play it? Is it going to be optimized on the Steam OS? Likely right now, my guess is for that, no. So in the future, any AAA title that needs to come out needs to be optimized for Steam OS, or it kind of defeats the whole purpose. Time. The Steam Linux-based OS is going to need time for all of us to pitch in, help, and optimize it. And after this, not only will cheaper hardware be available in comparison to the PS4 and Xbox One, you know, let's say at the end of 2014, end of 2015. Just think of how much cheaper of a computer you could build with better specifications and everything compared to a console versus what you could get right now. Okay, so here's a few benefits that will happen if we see the Steam OS succeed. First of all, there'll be fewer exclusive game titles, which means that gamers everywhere have better access to their favorite titles without having to go and get a new platform. Number two, more independent peripherals and devices which are all compatible with PC. You know, maybe down the line, we'll get a Corsair controller that just rules all and is better than in the controllers that we've seen right now for the Xbox One and PS4. We need these types of devices. We need something to cross platforms between a mouse and keyboard and a controller for this particular device. Three, we'll all have free online play like PC gamers have right now. Game ownership will mean more, meaning that just because I'm going to upgrade from my PS3 to PS4, I'm not going to lose my games because it's all through a computer instead, right? I'm going to be able to use my games down the line and they'll all be there for me. In comparison, this would be like if I still had all the Nintendo games, the Super Nintendo games, the Sega Genesis games, the PlayStation games, all the games I owned in the past on one platform. Just think how amazing that would be. Games won't have to be dumbed down to cater to both PC and consoles. This is an extreme amount of work for developers. If developers don't have to go and optimize a game for various consoles and the PC, that just means a better game overall. Gaming PCs will be cheaper to build without the hefty price of an operating system. Some of you may want to keep Windows. Some of you won't want to keep Windows because you could build a $500 gaming PC without that $100 OS. Instead of spending $600, you spend $500, or you spend $600 still and you get much better hardware. Also, I think one of the unsaid benefits to all this is that it'll bring gamers together to the same platform, which means additional esport competition and interest, which is something that I'm super excited about. The more gamers we have together playing the same games, the more esports is a viable option, which is a great thing for everybody in this community. Okay, so those are just some of my quick thoughts on what needs to happen with these Steam boxes and what needs to happen going forward in order for this to be able to succeed. I think there's a very strong chance it could be a home run, and a very strong chance that it falls as fast as it flew by. So Anyway, let me know what you guys think. I really want to know. You can leave me a comment in the description below. Also, check out my write-up where I have more information about this video. I do write-ups for all of my videos. Also, I'm going to put a link in the description below to the Machinima video, which compares Windows 8 and SteamOS side by side. Again, like and subscribe if you like these type of videos. We'll be making a lot more of them really soon, and we'll see you next time.